Boy,
Detroit basketball.
I had got rejuvenized my birthday this weekend.
You should have.
Oh, me? Oh, shit.
All right, here we go. Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. It's your boy Kevinthornton. You have tuned in to the Wellness Architect Show. Today is Monday, October 29th. It's going to be a great week for everyone. First of all, before I get fully into it, for all my friends from Eastern Michigan University that's watching, I want to publicly say thank you for all the love and support you gave me over the weekend. I went to Detroit to my alma mater to go for homecoming, and they gave me an award. It was called the Eastern Michigan Black Alumni Elite Award for all the stuff I've been doing. So I was truly grateful for that honor and all the love that everybody showed me that whole weekend. So I was, publicly want to say thank you. So tonight's show is going to be amazing. I've been waiting on this young lady for a minute to come and do my show, and I got my man back in the days. He's here, and we're going to talk about everything they got going on, but we're going to also tie in relationships because that's like an important topic. And I respect how she talked, and I respect how he talked. So it should be a great conversation.
What if you didn't respect us?
I do. I don't respect everybody. I don't respect everybody's mindset, but so
Good question, by the way.
So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna introduce my man, Mr. Antonio Boyd.
Thank you so much, Kevin,
So,
man.
what's going on, sir? Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how you get to this point right here, right now.
Wow, you want to ask my life story. But no, I'm just playing. Thanks, Kevin, once again, man, for this platform, man. It's been a long time since I've been down here with Status Network. Man, I love this building, man. It's a great location.
Yeah.
But anyway, my name is Antonio Boyd, Antonio TheSoldierpreneur Boyd. You'll find me on Facebook. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. I've been in the Army for 19 years in now. Okay. So I'm about to retire pretty soon. So that career is almost up. So I've been planning and reformatting for the past 2 years, trying to plan out my next move, man. Right. So we started out down here at the radio station, and it was great. I learned so much about this process and about things that I want to do for myself. Mm-hmm. And it basically just allowed me to see more things that I wanted to do for my life. Right. You know what I mean? I like the camera. I love books. I love people. I love transforming lives. I love everything that you got going on with your life coaching business and physical training. You know, we talking about physical fitness. For me, that's one of my biggest things. That goes with your mind, right? Mm-hmm. It goes with your mind, transforming of your mind and your body. So I'm working on a lot of different ideas within my own mind. Personal training is one of those things. Mm-hmm. I'm working on as well. The book I just talked to you about, I'm going to write a book. Success Atlanta is my business, our business consulting firm that we have, me and my partner. Mm-hmm. I do the business strategies. He does the technology aspect of the strategies. So we do I do a lot of things. A lot of things swarming in my brain. I also have 2 little boys. I love y'all. 4 and 2 years old, and I have a wife as well. And I'm a family man. You know what I mean? That's what I am. And so I've been tucking things away, but still building within myself. Reading books, listen to audio. I stay in a success mindset frame. That's my speed. That's where I'm at, and I keep that going, man. That's the part. That's me, really.
Okay. Miss Wanda, how you doing, man?
I am awesome. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. So Wanda Hollis, she has a show here on Status Network as well on Sundays. Yep. And she's an author. And she is someone from the D that I found
from
out.
The D, you gotta say that.
From the D.
From the D.
And
everybody know what that is.
You say the D.
How does everybody know that, man? That's so crazy.
What I want you to do is tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how'd you get to this point right here.
Well, let me just first say thank you. It's always a pleasure to come hang out with you. This is like a third time maybe?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so this movie is over at the other location, and I really enjoy your platform. I really do. You bring a lot of value to Status Network, so I really appreciate that. And who I am, in a nutshell, I was lived in Michigan, as we both found out. I went to Detroit Public Schools. Actually, I was born in Jackson, Michigan.
Okay.
But did not grow up there. My mom just happened to have been hanging out over there when it was time to deliver me. So, you know, grew up in Detroit, and came from a family, you know, what do you call it, a middle class family. Was raised by my grandparents, never knew my father. My mother was very young when she had me. She was about 17 years old. So, you know, I'm the firstborn, and I was pretty much fulfilling that firstborn role. If it's any firstborners out there, you know, we take on a lot of responsibility.
We do.
Yeah, so
that's not me.
Did that, and was married and have 2 children, now divorced. Moved from Detroit actually after my first marriage was over. So it was kind of like our moving on experience.
Right.
And landed in Georgia at about 98.
Okay.
So I've been here for a while.
Okay.
Am I official Peach now?
Yes, you
Pretty
are.
sure. Yes. That's when I signed up to the Army, man. 98. Graduated high school.
So now I'm an official Peach.
Right.
And I operate my own business. I do media consulting and event marketing for small businesses. And I also am an author. And I help people I like to help people be successful. So I do a couple things. One thing that I've been doing now for a couple years is I do a morning wake up winning, which is on Facebook, and people just come into the space, and you know, as my brother just said, you know, the mind and that whole success mentality is something that, you know, we lose it. We lose it along the way because we're out here with these toxic experiences that we go through, and it kind of shifts us off. So I'm a true believer that if we're reminded of our purpose, that we can get back on track.
So true.
You know, so I work hard in that area.
So for the listeners who probably would need something like that, how could they find your morning wake up?
You can go to my official Wanda D. Hollis page, and it's under the Motivational Queen. So if you look up official Wanda D. Hollis, Motivational Queen, and it's there. I live at around 6:11 in the morning. And normally on anywhere from like 30 minutes to 50. It just depends on, you know, the topics and what's going on, the energy that I'm picking up from the other side of the computer. So you know it could be.
So how you decide what you want to talk about
in the morning?
Yeah.
I let spirit guide me, to tell you the truth. I've tried to do like the whole pre-planning and map it all out, but honestly, this is my morning. I wake up around 4 o'clock, 4:30, and I meditate and I pray and I listen to my my music, and that could be anything. It could be chimes, it could be instrumental, or it could be all we do is win, no matter what, you know. So it could be anything, you know. It's just however I move to, and then I get a message. I'm like, oh, okay, gonna talk about that. You know, it's just like one word could come up, and how when you've been through a lot of experiences, you don't need much to get prepared. That's just, you know, say, hey, it could be, oh, today let's talk about determination, you know, or let's talk about whatever, forgiveness or whatever. Because I just believe that certain core things kind of build us, you know. So if you're grounded to prayer, meditation, you know, trying to take in the right information, then you can't do anything but put that right information out.
That's so true.
That's
you know,
very true.
Yeah. So.
And why you think it's so important? I know why I feel like it's important. Why do you think it's so important to start your day off with, God, I didn't hear you say anything about TV. It's
no.
Like,
no Sports Center, guys.
You meditate, you pray, you listen to music, and then you ready to
and I write too. Yep. And I write. I do. And why? For me, it's the only way I can start my day off. I haven't always done that. So don't, you know, I don't have no halo around my head, and I'm not at all trying to say that I figured it out.
Right.
But for me, it works because I'm not rushing through my day.
Right.
And I always try to tell people is
That's
how
big,
you start your day off is how you end your day.
Exactly.
So if you wake up and you're rushing through your day, then you're going to it's not going to be a good day, because you'll be anxious and you'll be just rushing.
You won't be present.
Right, you won't be present. And that's, to me, being in those moments of understanding that, first of all, there's something outside of this realm right here that we're living, that we're dealing with.
Right.
And I want to stay connected to the other side, you know. So that's probably a whole nother topic, but you know,
got me intrigued.
Hey, we got the shovel. We digging right now,
We
man.
digging,
like you said, you know, sometimes even with the show, I can have a game plan of what I want to talk about, but
And it
sometimes
can change.
it can change. 'Cause you, like you just said, something that I can just take that whole other direction, and it still be a great show.
Right.
Because,
Absolutely.
You know, because you just don't expect to hear something that can make you teach everybody else what they need to know.
And make you think about certain things. You know, for me, like, I don't jump up listening to the news. The news is unimportant to me.
Right.
I feel like I'm the news.
Right.
You know, what my whole inner workings, that we're the news. So when we plug into just kind of trying to be a higher frequency, then we start to create, and we're the only thing that blocks our creativity. So for me, TV blocks the creativity. And when I look at TV, I look at it from a whole different perspective than most people look at TV anyway. Because, see, I'm looking behind the scenes of TV.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out, like, oh, they wrote that like that. Why they write that script like that? Or, you know, like, because I'm planning, I'm figuring out, like, okay, how can I make that better? Or how can I take this and create something for my family, you know, my legacy. So when I go to the movies, you know, I'm not big on going to the movies, but if I go, then I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at the people standing off on the side. You know, the main characters are right there in your face, but I'm more interested about how they have this set up. What music are they playing?
That's
you
so
know,
true.
how are they taking these pictures?
That
how
music,
they taking
man,
these
that's
shots?
so true, man. Like, the music can change the scene.
It changes everything.
Because of cause it just changes it. Your picture, it just changes. When that music comes on, like whatever the notes are, you know, it just changes your whole perspective of that scene. Right then. If it was dry, you're looking like, what the heck is going on? You put some music to it, and you put, like you said, the scenery, the person that, how they're looking, you know what I mean? You're seeing all that, but you're not really, you don't know you're seeing it, but you see it all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But and then when you really plan to look at it like that, you know, it's like I do most things very, very intentional, and that's something that I always teach about is let's be intentional with our day. You know, that's another reason why I start my day off the way I do. You know, because I want to stay in gratitude. So I want to thank God. I want to thank my ancestors. I want to stay connected to, you know, talking to them and all this other kind of stuff. So
I like that because it's similar to what I do when I wake up. You know, I meditate and then I pray, then I write in my journal, and then I'll listen to some music as I head on to the gym to work out. So I don't watch TV. I don't watch that much TV anyway. Right. But I really don't watch no TV until maybe the evening. But then even in the evening, if I'm watch something I feel that's kind of negative, then before I go to bed, I take 15 minutes or 20 minutes to detox. Because whatever you put into your spirit and you go to sleep, that's what's going to manifest in your body. So, so if I just turn the channel, I got stuck on love and hip hop and all that shenanigans, then so I said, okay, let me meditate, let me breathe something.
Get back right.
Before you go to sleep.
Before I go to sleep, because I gotta put something positive into my spirit. So when I go to sleep, that will manifest to my spirit, you know, the whole time. So I like what you was doing. So tell everybody about this book.
Wow. Well, that's my latest, project, and I can't really say that it's just my project. I am the organizer and the collaborator, but it compiles stories of several people, and so what happened? How that book even was created was because in 2017, last year, my mom, she crossed over and went to the other side. She checked out of this earth, and in July, it was like a couple weeks before her birthday, and then 5 months later, my grandmother left, and then about 28 days after she did, my grandfather did. So all of this happened in 2017.
Wow.
So for me, it was a product of me healing. It was a product of me grieving. It was a product of me wanting to just stay me, and stay in my purpose, because I hear them tell me, like, you're okay, everything's gonna be fine, and I have a lot of stuff going on. Like, people be like, what's going on?
Can't really tell nobody that.
The reason why I pretty much just had to do that was like one of those, kind of like my first book, I Am Enough, was me. It was something that just, you had to get it out there. And this was that same process, but more or less because I had to keep waking up winning. I had to, and even when my grandmother, when I had went from, my mother was here in Georgia, and literally right when we had her memorial service, right before that, my grandmother fell. So she couldn't make it to the funeral. She was very depressed. I didn't know how depressed she was because I had been dealing with my mom in that whole situation. My mother had been sick. So I was like, Granny, don't worry about it. I'm gonna come or whatever. I couldn't even really sit down and rest between the time that I wrote my mother's eulogy, did it, put everything together, ordering everything that she needed. And I was on the road, and I was going down to Michigan to see about my grandmother. And when I got there, she was in the hospital, very dehydrated. Like just couldn't really understand how she got there so quickly. But then when I walked into the room, and she said, when you get here? I was like, I just pulled up. I just pulled up into the hospital, and she asked me, when are you leaving? And how long are you gonna be here? That's what she said. How long are you gonna be here? And I said, as long as you need me to. I'm staying until you tell me to go. And she said, I doubt it. Okay, I'll show you. So I was there until she left. Wow. And during that time, though, I continued to do Waking Up Winning in the mornings at 6 o'clock. I continued to operate the I Am Enough show. We did a few. I came home one time and hit my day, and then another couple of times we did it, remotely. So I was still on track. And see, for me, that's me. That's my magic. I got to still hold on to showing, like walking the walk that I talk, So not to say I can't go curl up in the couch. I just knew that it wasn't going to benefit me. That this was a bigger blessing. So what happened was show your success, and the owner of that, Miss Taria Lont, she sent an email out, and the email said, hey, I need collaborators. Would you like to put a project together? And I was like, yeah, but I didn't. And this happened, and it took me a couple months before I really started to working in it, because I was literally closing down one thing and doing something else, and I was still out of town because I was gone. I left Georgia for like 5 months to deal with that situation in Michigan. So and once I said yes, and then I set a goal, and I said, okay, well, I want this many people on the project, you know, because I'm into numbers and all that kind of stuff.
I know.
So, you know, I said, okay, this is what I want. So, you know, I just started diving in deep, and that was the product of that. And in the book, it just filled with people and their challenges and how they overcome it. And some people are, you know, like in their operating out of their gifts now. Some people have had, you know, near-death experiences, you know, severe depression, you know, abuse, mental, whatever. But it just shows, and I did a talk on Saturday, you know, and it was the same thing. We all go through stuff, and it doesn't matter what it is, you know, because that's your stuff. But what matters is how you come out of it. You know, what is the mindset that you're taking into it, you know? Because I went through screaming at God, you know, mad, you know, mad as hell. Like, I remember hearing the news of my mom, and I went outside on the back porch, and I was like, ah! You know, like why? You know, like, why are you doing this? So, you know, so I had to suck that up, and, you know, I wanted my mother to do something differently, you know. You know how parents are. They don't really, you know, they don't trust you. They saying, oh, no, I'm going to do it like this. So, you know, because she had cancer, and I just like, Ma, you know, you can just, you know, let's try something different. Yeah, you know, and she was like, oh, you right, but take me to the doctor. You know, you're right, but take me to get my chemo treatment. And I was like, okay, forget it. So I had to release that. So in this process, it just
hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it hurt a lot because, you know, that's a whole nother story that we'll be here all night about that. But just that whole process. But that was what it was.
So how many different people is in the book?
In that book, 21.
And why she picked 21?
Well, because
going to the numbers.
Well, for me, I certain numbers that I like. You know, like 3, 7, and 21. You know, and then
7 is like completion.
Yeah, that's your, you know, that's your whole cycle, you know. Well, and then, you know, like 8 is a great number, you know, that's an infinity number. But, you know,
like 3 and 6.
I just you know, it just made sense to me. You know, now there's some changes, but that was the whole thing. Plus, what I really, where I was really going with that whole thing was, this is an opportunity to spread this message. So if everybody locked into the whole vision of it, which is whatever you're going through, that's your opportunity to help somebody else get through that whole thing. See, I've never gone through grief, so it wasn't really something that I could really talk about. But baby,
till you went through it. You're an expert now.
Now, you know, because who knew that I was going to have to write 3 obituaries? I had to write them.
Wow.
Not somebody else, but I had to write them. Exactly. And then I became like the keeper of memories, because my mom was the one that had the Bible, and she wrote everybody's start date and end date. Start date and end date, born here, in there, everybody, cousins, and just everything. And I was like, now I'm the keeper of memories. So, you know, I don't know. I just, it was like, that was so precious to me to be in that position to say, wow, if I could do it, then everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You know, it's just like, what do we want to do? You know, so for me, I had to survive, you know, because I would have rather curled up on the couch and said, you know what, just bring me some tea, and maybe I'll start watching TV just for the sake of watching TV, you know. But that whole thing kind of forced me out. And, you know, I had a dream when my grandmother passed. Right before she passed, you know, because she would get up and she would ask me, she was like, do you ever sleep? Because sometimes have insomnia really, really bad. And I said, yeah, sometimes, you know, so because every time she's like looking at me, and I had my little corner set up, my banner in the background. So, you know, because I'm streaming live, I'm talking, I'm doing a couple things. So she was like, wow. So one particular night I was asleep, and she walked into my dream, just straight up walked into there. And she said, I'm all right, and you're going to be all right. And 2 weeks later, she was gone.
Wow.
And my grandfather tried to do it, and I woke up and I stopped him.
Because you didn't want to see that happen.
I stopped
right,
him.
You couldn't see that
Because I
happening.
see, it was like I was dreaming, and here he come. I was like, hold it, wait, no. And I jumped up and didn't let him come in.
But it still happened.
It did, but he was probably
He
going
was
to
already
tell me
coming in,
something.
yeah.
But I couldn't take it. I was like, Cliff, go back over there and sit down somewhere. I'm not listening to you right now. And
So
sure enough.
How do
I had a similar
someone
dream. Well, not similar, but
become a collab? No, how can you, if somebody want to do what you did and form a collaboration, how do they do that? Do they go? Somebody from the publisher reach out to you, or?
Yeah, well, see, I worked with and it's more or less like the company. They do it's a school, so they do different things. Mm-hmm. What they specialize is making you or helping you market your book and showing you the different streams. Mm-hmm. So their focus is on business books. Mm-hmm. Okay, but collaborations then is another area that pretty much bridges the gap. So if you, like the three of us, wanted to get together and do something, then, you know, but we all have our own platform, and we all can like take that product and just add it to it. Now, as a speaker, you know that you have to have a product, you know, like you're selling from the stage. So what are you selling? Well, the book isn't what you're selling. Right. You know, that's not what you're selling. The book is simply something that it's like a calling card, you know, like, let me leave you with this book. Okay. Or that's your low ticket item. Right. But your big ticket item is like your programs, or if you do travel, you know, you're selling retreats, but you might have wrote a book or been a part of a collaboration, and it could have been something about just how to start your own business, and you were in there talking about travel. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's and people do different kind of collaborations. You know, people do collaborations for different reasons.
Okay. All right. So, Don, are you going to do a part 2 to this?
I have been asked. You know, it's like some of the people on the project. Now the thing about it is, I would tell anybody, collaborations are not the easiest thing to do because, you know, things happen, and some people you're dealing with people for one thing, and then there could be a misunderstanding, which I'll be very transparent. This project could have killed me, but it didn't. Right. You know, wow. But I have to remember why I did it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, if you don't know why you're doing something, then you can get caught up in a lot of confusion. The collaboration, which this process, like most of them, is the co-authors contribute a chapter. Mm-hmm. The collaborator brings content and bring it all together. Now, during this process, some people started thinking a little differently, so they kind of got mad with the process that was laid out there in front of them. Right. Okay, so things happen, but the mission is the same. Right. So if you are wanting to be a collaborator, you just got to know that you're dealing with people. See, it's easy. And this is what, you know, you probably heard this before, you know, you can go far by yourself, but you can go faster with the team. Right. I don't know if that's true or not. But it sounds good.
Well, you know, I definitely understand that point. I mean, you can find a wise man. I heard a thing, I read a quote, so you can find a wise man by himself. You can find some weak men in a crowd full of people.
Right.
Right, cause like kind of similar, right? Like, you can be strong by yourself. I mean,
but and then
no
you
problem.
should be stronger.
But you should be stronger with other people, a team, like a mastermind, right? So people are on the same level, same mindset, and they have the same focus, same driven, same goals. That's the only way that you'll be able to keep a team functioning and pushing in the same direction, or at least in a similar direction, right? If we all was talking about, if we all put our ideas on the board, like throwing darts, like, all right, we got all these ideas, so how we put them in a format? How can we make this thing flow? Right? Because like I want to put a mastermind together, right? I want everybody to invest $100 a month. We all sitting down, we're all chopping it up, talking about all our plans, all our ideas, all our goals, and we can go through the gamut of step by step. We can do that step by step, or we can just flow if we already have full ideas already engaged. You know what I'm saying? And just choose what we want to invest in, and we all back each other up and find our lane where we need to be, and we shoot it and we go. You know what I'm saying? That's where a team can actually thrive, when the mastermind really comes to, when everybody has something at stake, everybody is on the same accord. Because if we can agree, we can all agree on all these things, that we like all these things. Right. Or we know we can make some money off these things, right? Because they don't have to be my vehicle, it don't have to be your vehicle, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
it's a collective.
As long as I can agree with you on certain ideas, certain formats, as long as we're not doing nothing illegal or something that's gonna make me out of my character, then you don't have to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like if we all are looking at things a certain way, like, all right, you know what? Let's all put some money together. Let's all sit down. Let's all sit down and talk. That's when the team, like you said, I mean, it can work. It can. But I understand how strong you are by yourself. I get it, because ain't nobody telling you, hey, you're not going this way, that way, you're going this way. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree.
But you do need, I mean, I'm an advocate of teams.
Yeah, for sure.
I always try to gather people. That's my niche.
Your thing. That's your thing.
I'm always saying, hey, come over here. I got something over here. This look good. And I'm always helping people promote and helping, build up anything that I feel like is worthy to be built up.
Right.
So
you see opportunity.
But when a lot of times though, and that's just human nature, people, I think it's more or less, sometimes it's a fear factor too. Right. When you trying to go to another level, somewhere that you haven't been, it becomes a little intimidating, man. So then for somebody to be like you have like, oh my goodness, am I really trying to do that? So it's those things, and it may not come off like that, but because of the result of it, and you didn't go to where you wanted to go, then you're like, well, what happened? And it's okay. See, what I've learned the most though in life, and I say going through the whole grieving process taught me a lot. I can let stuff go. Yeah. If you don't get attached to the outcome, and if you just continue to go through the processes, because the processes is what helps you grow. Right. The processes are what helps you learn. I learn more about myself. Yeah. I learn more about other people. I learn about different things that I want to do, or different things that I don't want to do. So I can never be upset about the experiences that I have, because they always teach me something.
Absolutely. There's always a hint. There's always a seed in there.
Yeah, it is.
I had just told my family and friends yesterday, I said, I don't really get upset about the outcomes, whether it's good or bad, because my whole concern is what was I supposed to learn in that process. So if something happened to me that's in a negative, I don't get frustrated. I just say, okay, God, what am I supposed to learn from this? So that I can move forward accordingly and grow from that. Same thing, I don't get too high over something that I get positive, because I think I learn, okay, you
don't want to get the big head.
Right. I'm supposed to learn from this, keep it moving. So, that's what I try to do. I do want to ask you a question, especially since my man here is about to write a book. And I had some people ask me questions at homecoming about what platform do you recommend personally when writing a book? You like going through Amazon, or what would you recommend?
I would recommend all of them. And see, that's the whole part about it is the writing the book is the easy part. Right. The work comes in after you wrote the book. You know, now you can, you know, people know, okay, you can write a book on your own and it could, quote, say, be free, but are you going to have the marketing tools that you need in that? So sometimes, like, I'm hired also as a consultant just to, you know, like, sit down and talk through things or whatever. So if you decide that that's what you want to do, then as far as distribution wise, you should be everywhere. You know, and you don't have to just be an Amazon. You know, you should be literally everywhere. I mean, you can be walking up and this is my motto. I always have product with me. You know, like books in my purse, in the car, T-shirts in my car, whatever. So when somebody says to me, like, I like that T-shirt, do you want it? You know, do you want it? Because I got some. You know, oh, I want your book. Oh, for real? Then, you know, take it. Right. You know, so being prepared. And then if you go to Amazon, that's fine. But Amazon is not going to market your books. Right. So it doesn't matter. I know some authors, they don't deal with Amazon, you know, at all, because they're just grinding in another area. So it's just all a matter of, I say, do everything, you know, like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, you know, whatever. You know, you should know what everything's going on. Book fairs, you know, grocery stores, parking lots. Everywhere. You know, when you truly take on anything, just like a book is no more than like if you were selling cars. Everybody should know you're selling cars. Right. Everybody. It doesn't matter. If I went to go work for a car lot today, I would ask them, can I take one of these cars home? Because I want to represent what I'm doing. Right. And if I can't take it home, then what do I have to do to take it home? Do I have to be the top seller to get a car? You know, what do I need to be? Because I'm going to be that girl at the grocery store letting everybody know that I sell cars. And if you need a Lexus, then, you know, because I don't really want to do high dollar cars. So, you know, whatever you need, like, this is where I got something for you. Gotcha. So it doesn't really matter so much as where. It's just that traditionally people going into publishing houses, they just don't work because they only picking up #1 hitters. Right. You know, if you're not John Grisham or, you know, Patterson or somebody like that, right. I mean, they're not getting ready to write, you know, contract because you're telling them that you require shelving space, and if they take your book and put it on the shelf, you still got to drive traffic to that.
Yeah, still got to do the marketing.
Yeah, every business requires the investment of marketing. Right. You need your sales team can do more for you. See, if you're gonna sit behind the desk all day, that's great. You're not gonna make any money. Right. You got to get out there in the marketplace to let people know what you do. Right. So the first people you should be hiring is salespeople. People that help you market. People people get tricked when they say they use the term like brand. I got a brand. That's nothing. Right. Your brand is everything about you. So your brand should say, this guy works hard. That's his brand. He a hard worker. He out there. Like, I think it's Eric Thomas that say, you know, you might be smarter than me, but you're not going to work harder than me. Yeah, because, you know, and never sleep and catching one flight to go to the next show, getting off, you know, so you got to know when people say, well, where should I put it? Everywhere.
That's a good point.
You know, but more than that, you should be telling people that it's everywhere. You should be very vocal about what you do, and that's what people don't. If you stream through Facebook, you will see probably 5% people that's very vocal about what they do. Other people, you really don't know what they do because they posting funny videos and they doing selfies and you know like, oh, how do I look today? You know, like taking pictures and like what? So, what? You're a scientist? I never knew.
Yeah, you're a scientist.
Be like, what? You sell cotton candy? What? You don't even talk about it.
Right. Exactly.
True. I can see that. I can see that's definitely good points, man. For me, when it comes down to it, like, you know, just hit the grind, man. Like, I mean, I've been in that mode, but I see it. That's what it's gonna take for me to get my name out there. I was thinking of lecturing. I told Kevin about that, doing lectures, right? So I want to start in schools. I want to just start doing lectures in schools for different subjects, mostly success-oriented, of course. But that's where I want to start. I want to start in the schools because there's a lot more to it, you know, when it comes to delivering that kind of mindset. A lot more people that are involved, that they are making money, they're doing different things right now. You know, ever since Think and Grow Rich came out. So ever since that book came out, there's some people that are making money, they're doing their motivational things, right? But I want to be more school level as of initially, you know what I mean? Eventually making my way to college, you know, do those things. But it's not really about college, but it's really about the high schools and the grade schools.
You trying to say the kids?
I am, man. I mean, because you have to, the reason I say that, because habits start early.
They do.
Habits start early. I've talked about that with my kids, with my wife. Just bad habits, you know, just habits, period, or just bad habits, period. I mean, habit starts young. Like, if you don't hit that moment when you're supposed to, they're going to think this is how it's supposed to be, Dad. This is how it's supposed to be, Mom. Okay, this is how he's going to react when I do this next time. This is how she's going to react when I do this. So I'm going to cry right now. I'm going to cry because I know she's going to give me what I want. I know I'm going to move over here. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this face. I'm going to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
These are habits, small little tiny habits that become bigger stones that we got to hurl over the boat when he becomes a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are kind of habits I'm looking at, I'm trying to identify as a kid. And I know when they get older, of course, they've already been through a lot of different things. I can't really coach, you know, a young kid, you know what I mean? But when they become a teenager, they do have the wherewithal within their minds to make decisions.
They're very smart.
Right.
They make their decisions, you know what I'm saying? So, and true enough, they will continue to make decisions, make bad decisions, make good decisions.
Right.
But I just feel like that's a space for me that I want to be in, to be able to help push our next generation to make more human conscious decisions. True enough, I am conscious about my blackness. I'm super conscious, but I know that we need that human element because we have to get out of our own way a lot of times. And as a people, we are, due to the social construct as what it is, we have least amount of power as that they do, our next generation. Our next generation are going to be more empowered and more multicultural. They have more people that look like them that are in positions of power, and that it's already starting to happen. It's already, governors, mayors look like me and you are being held accountable at some of the highest levels. Of course, they're not president. He has been president, but we need more people in those other realms where people that don't look at the districts and the other courts and the courts of law. We have more district attorneys. We have more judges. We have more younger people that look like us that are in these positions of power. But we need more. But we need people that want to do more and feel like they can do more. And they are in our ranks as kids right now. Kids, and they're in their middle to high school range right now. And they are changing. They're going to change the way the world operates for the next 20 years. Mm-hmm. So when they come 30-some years old, I'm going to be 60 years old looking at everybody like, man, y'all look just like me. and we're going to be balling because we're going to be focused on the right things. We feel like we're empowered at that time because we all look alike. We all want to help each other. Right. At that point, we all want to help each other. Right now, they don't want to help us. For the most part, when we get to certain levels, they kind of kick around the rock. Okay, you go over there, you go over there. But I want to develop more thoughtful people that are thinking more on a success or just driven for themselves, whatever that may be. Everybody can't be, like I was listening to Levette this morning, like everybody can't be entrepreneurs, right? Everybody, there are extremely great employees that build and kill a business all day, every day. You know what I mean? When I say kill, it means successfully kill it. You know what I mean? That they really grind it out for you as a CEO. You know what I mean? So I want to find those people and put forward those people in more positions of power internally. You know what I mean? That they can make better decisions for themselves. So the speaking part is where I want to make a bigger impact. The writing is gonna build me to that point mentally, emotionally, help me guide down that road, put more things in the formats and things like that, so I can really deliver. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at when it comes to book writing for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I definitely get what you're saying. That's some great points. I just, as far as from my point, I haven't been down that road yet, so to speak. You know, I've been focused on military and all these other things, and I haven't been down that road.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
I mean, there's a lot of us out there that don't get the shine, don't get recognition, but they don't get those jobs. They don't get the position to be able to think for themselves, to say, hey, this is what I want to do for my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they put them lives on the back burner, not me. I mean, I've always wanted to be what we call civilians, right? So I was active duty for 4 years, and I made a lot of mistakes, did some stupid stuff. I was young. I was 17 when I joined. So I still had a lot of growing to make. I have a father figure, you know what I mean? But it's just the fact that when I knew I wanted to live my life, so to speak. I wanted to live my life. Whatever that was, all I knew was a professional. Whatever that meant was a professional. I had no idea what that meant. But anyway, so I say all that to say because I've seen the habits of a lot of people that are in my field in the military, that all they focus on is that uniform. That's all they focus on. And they're not focused on what's going on after that uniform. So a lot of them are lost. A lot of them don't even have any skill sets other than what they learned in the military.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that.
But that's how
it's super unfortunate.
To me, when I think about, most institutions have that type of trap.
Right.
This is true.
Like all of them, schools.
This is true.
Military.
This is true.
Most things
they mold you
that
for us
because they have an agenda.
It's an agenda.
And their agenda is
like
to
schools,
keep
public
you,
schools, period.
Right. It's to keep you where you can be comfortable at serving.
Yeah.
Right.
And the moment that you maybe offer a suggestion, then you become a threat.
Right.
Which is what we are.
Right.
When we, like back in the day, like I was watching this one movie, and it was a great movie. But anyway, it talked about that in the South. You know what I mean? Back in the day, this was North Carolina. One was talking about in North Carolina. Anyway, so they're like, we can't talk about racism. This was in the 30s.
Right.
So we can't talk about it in our house. No, we can't. Like,
but to piggyback what you were saying too is, I was telling a homeboy, he was frustrated about not getting certain positions or stuff like that, and he knew that he was better than them. I said, well, they hold people down that's a threat to them.
Sure.
I said, if you're not a threat, then they'll let you go on and do stuff. But someone like you who is a threat, you are a threat to them because they know, because you could end up take their job.
But that's
crazy.
that whole thing,
so
and we're like that amongst ourselves, though.
Yep.
We were and that's part of that whole conditioning. Talking about how they conditioned us to. That's why you had your house folks and your field folks, and it was to drive that wedge between us. So when do you think we're going to wake up and realize that we have a rightful place on the throne, that we're the beginning, that we're the top and not the bottom?
Sure,
when do you think that's going to happen? Because this has been the whole song and dance for now, over 400 years. It's like we're still walking around in the wilderness and don't know our I won't say that word. We don't know, that the sky is blue. How does that sound? I was gonna say something else.
Right. I get it. We were talking about that at homecoming. I was saying, when are we going to stop asking for permission to be great and just be great? And not be concerned about how people perceive us, because we're being great. Because when you have greatness and you have high standards, everybody's going to look at you in a negative perspective anyway, because you do have high standards. But that's how you be great, because you have high standards. And so my question to everybody at home is, when we going to start having these high standards and not ask for permission to be great, just be great, and stop seeking for validation from them.
That's big.
Yeah.
So what did they say?
They never thought about like that.
So
they never thought about like that. And, you know, they said they never had nobody present to them like that before. And I'm like, but that's just why I'm here for you. I said, because we got to look at it from a different perspective. I said, even with the whole fact of, you know, they do things to oppress us, we know that. So we don't need to focus on what they're doing. Focus on the why they do it. And I said, y'all know why they do it? And they was like, no. I said, because.
Word?
No.
Word?
These are people you went to school with?
Well, this is somebody. This is somebody. This like.
I was about to take a shot.
Like somebody. That situation. That conversation was like some of my friends that didn't go to school with me.
Look, you throwing the people under the bus. You do know that, right? You just ran them over.
But the thing is, they didn't know. They couldn't figure out the why. And I said the why is because they already know. They know.
They know.
They know. But you know what? See, the thing about it is, and that's why, you know, I do a lot of stuff that I don't care about what people think and say or whatever. But certain things, this is why we are such a blessed and privileged people. Like, medicine was created a long time ago, like in, you know, Egypt, you know, first woman found. You know, like they've identified with who's first. Right. So why is it that since we learned that we were first, why are we still allowing them to put us at the back of the bus?
Right.
You know, they discovered the artifacts.
Yeah.
You know, now they discovered it, right? Everybody know that they discovered it.
Yeah.
They cracked the code, and they realized that Jesus is not white. They cracked the code on that. They realized that. But still we you know, our nice, you know, the nice chocolateness of that runs, you know, it's just like, what are we doing? So you gotta, my thing is, I don't even ask why or when or how or nothing. I'm just gonna stay in my lane and try to open behind the veil and let people know, like, it's okay, you can come over here, but if you want to stay over there, that's fine too. Right. See, because it all comes down to this freedom of choice. Now people can, right, because you can say you know that this stuff is not right, and why and all, you can get into all of that, but at the end of the day, when will we wake up? Right. When will we get going and go back into time and realize that, you know, even with, let me tell you something, that your politicians, your entertainment field, you know, they have psychics in their possession all the time. That's when they release movies, because see, they understand that the celestial out here, like the stars and all this kind, they know that works. Right. They know that numbers matter. They know that there is portals to, you know, they know this.
That's in marketing.
Because they, and you know why? That's in their marketing. You know why they know? Why?
They just know. They just know.
And how we supposed to know?
We know too. We just don't.
We get tricked by, you know, just pray about it. Just, you know, just believe that. I'm just gonna wait for God to do it. And no. That's not gonna happen. Right. You have to say at some point, what am I going to do? I came here at a particular time and day. The portal opened up and say, you get there. It say, Kevin, kicked you out. Right. There you go. What you gonna do with yourself? Right. Certain gifts that was given to you, you already know you got them.
Already know you got them.
You knew, you came here with it. Right. And then what happens is it started started kind of like wrapping you up and mummifying you before you can even And you gotta say, you know what? It's time.
I think I want to get to him young.
It's over time.
That's why I want to get to him young.
And I applaud you for that, because I homeschool my grandson.
Okay.
For that very purpose, because you know, I was like, you know what, and I was trying to get him in this Christian academy, and then I stepped in there for 2 days and they was bullying him, and the teacher was like, oh, well, she allegedly said, okay, wait a minute, let me put y'all on notice. See, this is the thing about it, is we have power. You don't have to keep subjecting your children to abuse.
Right.
So for a parent that want to really step up and say, you know what, they're not treating my child right, let me rearrange my lifestyle so I can take care of my child.
Right.
See, this goes back into time where this is why women should stay home and raise their kids. Now, I'm not saying we ain't in a relationship.
Click,
yet.
boom.
Right.
Just drop the bomb.
That's a good segue.
But I'm just saying, because the mother we have a gift to give our babies. And when we rush off and try to be doing other stuff, then we giving up our magic. See, the woman pushes the man. She helps build the vision up. She's behind him to just say, you know what, honey, what you see? You see us. And the whole thing about even sexual energy, when you making love, y'all supposed to be masterminding on what you want to be creating in that process when it pops off. I'm saying it's
relationships, man. That's what we're talking about, relations, right?
That's good.
But I'm gonna let it go though.
Okay. So that's a good
This is in your court now.
It's
I
good
wanna know what's going on.
relationship. So, and I'm gonna start what you said, because I said that to some of my friends. I said that the men a lot of times have a vision, but it's the woman that's behind that man that helps get the vision to where it's supposed to be. But and so the disconnect sometimes, I feel, we were talking about, I want your opinion on it and yours too. One of the guys said that he feels that the women don't care about how men feel. They only care about how they feel. And so he said that they only, like when he come home from work, it's never, how was your day? None of this. She come in fussing or whatever was going on in her day, but they never ask how his day. What do you think about that?
First.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Well, I think it's a lot of stuff that can be said. It's no like one answer. For one thing, that woman, where is she coming from? What's the source of her pain? Okay, so we talking about, we really got to dig up some things, but that's the start of it, because I know that I know my power as a woman is supposed to push up the man, and not just my man. I feel like I'm supposed to push up all the men.
I agree.
You know, because I feel like that's I know that's my magic. But for a woman that doesn't know that, and then too, like, what has she gone through? Has she been so broken and bent out of shape? It's hard to, if you haven't gotten healed from certain things, then it's hard to serve people. It's hard to even, she doesn't even know she's at fault of doing anything, because then again, how she starting her day off, she probably hitting that day running, jumping up, throwing her clothes on, rushing out. Then when she come back, she rushing in, hey, I don't have time to talk, what do y'all need, you know. So it's like it's this whole thing of just doing instead of being.
Right.
And when you're in a relationship, sometimes you just have to be in a relationship. And what does that look like? That looks like two people coming together, and I'm identifying with what your needs are, you're identifying what my needs are, and we're going to both act accordingly. Because in a relationship, your goal should be to please your woman, just like your woman's goal should be to please her man. And if we're both trying to hit the goal, then it should be harmony. Right. But it's not, because it's like, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? And men are like that too.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like, what's in it for me? Well, she ain't do nothing for me. Well, I ain't gonna do nothing for her. And he's like, I ain't gonna do nothing for her, and she ain't gonna do nothing for me. And it's like, but then they need each other, and they want each other.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, she's hitting a whole bunch of points right here, man. I'm serious. So, so it is about how that person is built. You know what I mean? Like, if that person is built in a broken relationships, from broken relationships or broken life or whatever, they will handle things accordingly if they haven't took charge within their lives to say, all right, you know what? Let me figure this thing out. Let me go to seek my help, who I need to seek my help from. That was another question I was going to ask you. So who helps that person, right? Is it the man's job or the woman's job to help that broken mate? Or is it that third party, whoever that third party may be, to help them in their relationship? That's
Good
one
question.
That's a question.
Yes, that is a question to you. I want to put that out there for a second.
From my perspective, it can be a combination. First of all, I have to identify that I'm having a struggle here. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of like you ever been with somebody and they're just bitter, mean, and then they go into the next relationship and they're bitter, mean, and they go into the next one. And if they don't wake up that it's them and not the other person, because you're thinking, hey, it's the other person. Mm-hmm. You know, it's that one and this one and this one. No, it's you.
Right.
So first you got to take responsibility to where it's you. Mm-hmm. And you got to identify, do I want to be fixed? Do I want to be healed? A lot of people say, you know what? It's me. This the way I am. This the way I always been. That's what it is. Da 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 da. You be like, okay, fine. Then you probably gonna be by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to decide. And then too, if I come to you and I can say, you know, like, I done went through a whole bunch of stuff. This is all my baggage, but I want to just unpack this. I want to let you know why I act the way I do. Then as a man, then your question would be like, yes, he can offer some help or understanding to that situation. But she first has to reveal that, hey, I think I do have an issue. Because if you say, well, babe, you know, you could have handled that different, and she's snapping, neck rolling, and all that kind of stuff, then you can't get nowhere with that.
No. Nowhere.
You know? It's just like, if he got a hard head, you can't get nowhere with that.
Right.
So, you know, they got to come together.
Do I expect for you to ask me how my day was, though? I mean, I do. I would love for that inclusion, like to say, hey, express myself, like how I was feeling throughout the day. I mean, true enough, I ask the same thing. But how do you get from the surface to the bottom, to what's really been going on? How do you get from the surface answer to what's been going on to internally? Like, you know, things happen all the time in a work day, right? I mean, I know you're not going to express everything that happened in that work day, but your feelings throughout the day, what were you thinking about? Would be about us, would be about you or our kids, or, you know, things like that. Like, how do you unpack to that point? How you get to that point so you can actually
communication.
Talk? That's the real talk, right? How you can actually talk to somebody and you can sit down and have that bathtub conversation. And my boy, he said they used to do that all the time. They call them AARs. We call it in the military after action reviews, right? So basically at the end of the week, they would go on a Sunday or a weekday or whatever it was. They'll sit in the bathtub and they'll talk about their strategies and their talks, and you know, it's like they couldn't get mad at each other. At least that's the word. They couldn't get mad at each other.
It's kind of hard
because they was in the bathtub.
It's real hard.
Right. So I mean,
and you got them at a disadvantage. Be like, I got you where I need you.
So
it's an advantage. She said it's an advantage.
Exactly. So
I
had a situation where a young lady.
Oh, you need advice? No.
Not me. So this young lady was talking to these young white girls, and she said that when a black woman dates a white man, that the black woman is into white men, but when a black man dates a white woman, it's because they don't love themselves and they don't love our women. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Damn. So, okay.
Tough one, huh?
I can't really say that is tough. I can, damn. There is some truth to that.
It is.
There is some truth to that. I think there is some truth to that. Just because what I've seen in my life and how strong we are as black men, and some people like the dumbed down version of themselves. Some people don't want to see the fullest potential unleashed because they may be scared of that potential. They may be worried that they may not reach the threshold that they feel like they should have reached. I've seen it in my own family. I'm from Iowa, so I'm born and raised in Iowa. So I've seen a lot of mixed couples, especially in my family. You know what I mean? So I've seen it. But so I would say that the woman, I can't say it's different for the woman. I can't say it's different because there are levels to this thing, right? I mean, there's no cookie cutter thing when it comes to mixed interracial marriages or relationships, period. I don't think there's a cookie cutter. I think there is a point where if they feel like they can't reach their full potential, they have to settle for somebody that can take care of them or look after them or meet whatever need that they feel like they haven't been met from a black female's perspective to a white man. And I don't think that's necessarily the same with black men. I think it's more of a power and more of a hierarchical level of they're intimidated with their own self. At least those people that have met that black woman and that feel like they're intimidated by that field, that they don't want to reach that point to where they can really eclipse who they are supposed to be. Because a black woman is not going to bring you out to somewhere that you're not. And it's not anything different. A white woman is gonna push you and push you, and they're gonna be there for you, and blah blah blah. They're gonna take all your bull crap and whatever, they're gonna eat it up. As long as they got you, they all right. And that's what a lot of black men think. They're okay with that because they want somebody just to be there and just take all my bull crap. Don't grow. Don't be who you're supposed to be. Take all my kiddie stuff. Crap in my Cheerios, all that stuff. All the stuff that they do, they feel like the woman is supposed to just take it. That's the young-minded man. That's the man that hasn't reached their potential at all. I haven't even tried to reach their potential. If they feel like they tried, they feel like they failed, and they went back down. Right. I'm not saying all black men are like this, but this is how I look at it. Okay. I look at it, and black women as well. I feel like they look at the opposite race, somebody that doesn't look like them, as far as from black to white, that is somebody that can look after them from ways that they haven't been met. These needs have never been met in their life or whatever in their relationships, and they feel like that person can fulfill their need. They may fall in love with them because of that, and it may evolve into whatever it may be. But we're drawn to like people. We're drawn to each other. I mean, there's no the chemistry, the way the world operates, the stars, everything aligns. Everything pushes us to what we like, and what we like is already embedded in us. I mean, true enough, but. That's how I think about it, man. I don't want to dive in too deep, but what's your thoughts? That's kind of how my thoughts is about that.
I see it for a lot of different angles here. Again, I'm not a thinker that believes one way is just the only flat way. Right. So for dating outside of your race, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't like your race.
Absolutely.
I'm not solely convinced on that. Now, if you don't like yourself, then you got more issues than just dating or marrying. That's good. Which that's again most of the reasons why we do things is because of how we perceive ourselves. Like what is our perception towards ourselves, or how do we. What were our experiences with people that we've dated in the past? Right. So just like we talked about before with the whole the angry woman type of deal, and if you are a man and you've been running into a bunch of angry women, then you might say, like I'm getting ready to try something different. Right. Because that's just not working. But I think that if we really took time to understand who we are, then we probably could understand why she is the angry woman. you know, because there's a reason behind everything. But I don't really think, I think I'm a romantic, so I don't think that love has this color on it. You know, I really think that when people meet and connect, if you connect, then that's a connection, you know. But I do remember an old boyfriend telling me this, because he didn't believe in dating outside of his race. So he said that people look for what they want. So if you are a black man and you're dating someone else, then that's what you're looking for. So that's what you got. You know, so I was like, oh, okay, so it's the same thing for like a sister. If she's dating somebody outside of her race, then that's what she wanted to do, you know. But it doesn't mean, I don't really think that it means it's all bad, you know, or it's difficult. I believe it's difficult because once you start getting into the other things that go along with that, you know, there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, it's hard just dating in your race. So if you had to cross over, you like, oh my God, I got that problem and that problem, you know. But thinking that if we realize that there's only one race, then we could break down that barrier right there. If there's only one race, and that's the human race, and then if there's only one religion, and that's love, then we don't have these issues. But man, we complicate life to a point that now we're just walking around here bitter, broke, angry, depressed, mad, and nothing is working. So, you know, I would like to just see us just try to understand. If that's who you want to see, I'm going to respect you. So if you show up and a white girl on your arm, then I'm not getting ready to be nasty towards her or you, or trying to figure out, well, why he over there?
I'm not
and this is what all our black men are, and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no. If you are where you supposed to be, and if you, I believe this, that who's for you is for you, regardless.
I mean, if it works for you, it works for you.
It works for you, right? But you know.
That's good. But okay, so she went on to say that black men has an inferiority complex.
Ooh.
And where is it coming from? Who she look like? Look. I mean, what kind of money she made? You know, let me see this source. Inferiority complex.
Inferiority complex. Well, and so we feel that we are inferior to the whites.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
You go first.
I definitely don't agree with that, man. I mean, it's 100%. I disagree. I mean, some people are infused in the world. Some people are infused into their culture of what society brings to them. They eat it up, and they take it and say, you know what? That's right. That's 100% right. I suck. I don't make enough money. I'm a gambler. I'm a druggie. I drop out. I'm all these things that you're telling me that I am, and they eat it up. I mean, I can't make it as far as vice president, or I can't do anything at this job because they're looking at me like I stole something. I mean, they eat up everything that society is the people that are around them too that are saying everything, and how they're looking at people, how people are looking at them. They're looking at everything else to build them up other than themselves. So I mean, that's not the majority. But you want to say that it looks like it is just because the way that we handle ourselves as a majority of people, and how the world has been so far, how our society has been bred and things like that and shaped. But there are a lot of people that are reshaping their minds and that are waking up and things like that. But I don't think we all have an inferiority complex. And I don't buy that one bit.
Well, you know you don't. You military.
Right.
Y'all hard to be like, what? What you talking about?
There's a lot of weak folks in the military.
Yeah, really?
They join because they are weak. A lot of them do.
So Miss Wanda. So, what do you think the statement that women make that the reason why black men go to white women is because they are intimidated by a strong black woman? Is that a true statement, or is that a narrative that has been created?
Well, I think it speaks to like my brother down there that was talking about, you know, when you can, anybody can have a weak mind. So, you know, you can kind of much think however you want to. So but I don't.
Give it to me real, Wanda. Give it to me real.
Listen here.
Look in your face.
We just gotta, you know, I'm saying like, what? I've heard everything under the sun. Like, we all are pretty much, you know, we've heard all of these things, all of these scenarios, why people say that they, you know, he's with her because, you know, this XYZ, she's with that one, this is with that one. But at the end of the day, if you love yourself, then you're going to do the right thing by yourself.
Right.
I think that the reason why we and I don't understand, I don't get it, but I do get it. We have fallen so far from truth, and the truth is, family structure is needed. And when we put all of these things that distract us in the way of building our family, see, we're under such a high attack right now that there's this spiritual warfare going on. And most people are so concerned with the political warfare, but there's a deeper warfare going on. Man. And the thing about it is...
Can you elaborate?
Oh, goodness. You changing the topics.
But with that it's something that we got to really touch that.
Believe me, man.
Oh, Jesus.
That's been a pressure point for me, man.
You should be bringing jewels like this.
I can't help it. You know I'm a star, so you know I gotta bring the jewels.
Right. You know, because I think that needs to be truly.
Hot over here. Because you know, this is what happens when you know you're going to step on some toes, but you're just going to have to say what you're going to have to say.
I've already done that.
Right, and we're done with it.
I've already done that once.
We're under attack, period, and hands down. And this is nothing to do with, this is just like the state that we're in. Why do I say that? It's because our families are so... like it's so quick for everybody to get out of what they started. You know, like our level of commitment is zero.
Right.
And so then now you have it to where it seems like everything is okay. We live in a society where everything is okay. Oh, it's
everything is okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Man.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. But what is it doing for our race? See, it's really breaking us all the way down.
So
why?
crazy,
because we're not growing and we're not still creating families. And if you don't create a family, if they allow certain things to happen and they say, oh, that's okay. What are you supposed? You're supposed to be procreating the man. The woman. This is our purpose, you know? And once you say, well, you know what, I'm just gonna do that thing over there. Right? I'm like, oh God. Okay. So it stops. So now we not moving.
Right.
Now we not what happens if we just stop doing, when they say, oh, this is allowed, oh, that's allowed too, oh, that's allowed too, oh, don't worry about that, just let them be and do what they want to do. Okay, so what's gonna happen with our race?
Can I say something real quick? This is burning me. It's burning. Like, so this just happened today, right? I got notified. I'm going to my daycare, picking up my boys, right? 2 and 4. My 2-year-old is in the classroom with another boy that likes to play with himself. Right? He said he walk around, hand in his pants, playing with himself. He takes, during nap time, he takes his pants and his underwear all the way off. I mean, and they said, guess what they told me?
What did they tell you?
Is that normal behavior?
That's normal behavior. For this boy to walk around and play with himself all throughout class. Not just while he's being changed and feeling on the teacher, but playing with himself.
He molesting the teacher.
Yes.
Too?
all through class, and they said that is normal behavior, and they can't do nothing about it. You want to ask me what I'm gonna say? They really had the nerve to ask me what I thought about that, because they told me to look out for my son if he start to do those behaviors. I said, I got that. Don't worry about that. I got that. I got my boys. My boys will not be a part of this society. No, they will not. They will stand alongside, looking at everybody, looking like a fool, and being in their own straight line, rigid, whatever they're doing, all this cloudy stuff they got going on. Nah, bro. My boys gonna be sitting over here, minding their business, driving our culture in a certain direction. They say that's normal, man. For this 2-year-old boy in the amount of class, just walking around playing with himself, hard. I'm like, oh my goodness. And that's normal?
Okay.
What you just said.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's not. And the sad part about it is,
Get out of here, man.
And you wonder, and this is what I'm saying. It's like a little Jedi mind trick going on right now. You wondering about
piece by piece
about who gonna be governor and president, and this stuff going on right in your home on your own block. Yeah, you can't. And this is where
in class right now. They got stuff going on in class.
Community, families. Your relationship with your family, your kids, you set the standard for how your kids act.
Build that community.
So your community building starts in your 4 walls of home. So when you go out, then you take those same children out. So whatever he's being allowed for him to go through at home is what he's bringing to school. And the schools don't even want to deal with it. Like when in my day, you didn't come to school, you get a knock on the door like, where's your child at? Right. You know, now it's like, oh, well, we didn't know, then da-da-da. It's like, I was teasing, and this was just a joke with my daughter. I was saying, she was like, man, I want to get rid of a baby. And I said, well, if you're going to do it before you put them in public school. Because, they may switch over and start looking for kids because they stop, and they ain't looking for the ones that ain't registered in school yet. They ain't looking for them. No, but it's a deliberate type of trick, because you talk about certain things that we don't do that we should do, and I'm just speaking to our culture right now, and we need to start back doing. But the whole level of disrespect is so strong to where it's hard. But that's why you just have to know that whatever your contribution is, it's got to be done from your heart. Because as I was, you driving around, you be like, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Because you can feel like there's such a dark cloud over everything. And then you have to remind yourself, and you have to get around other people, other like-minded people, and you have to stay plugged into, what, since I got to be here, I'm just going to keep working my plan and keep working, keep planning my work. That's all I can do. Because
it's hard, man.
It's hard, but even more so it's necessary.
Absolutely.
So now it's the
time
for parents to get into their, go to your school. Don't just show up to school to pick up your child. Go and spend one. You mean to tell me you can't take one day out the month just to go up to the school to see the kids and how they acting in school and shock the hell out the teachers because they like, whoa, Mr. Jones up here, he what? And then they get used to that. It's like anything. They like, oh, okay, so then they gonna be on their best behavior.
Right.
They gonna be,
I agree.
with the program.
That's true.
I agree. I completely agree. So the question, I'm gonna go to you. We're gonna bring it back to the relationship part.
We in relationship.
Let's talk.
That question is,
don't give me no hard question, Kevin.
No, it's not.
It's coming.
We're talking about men feel that they don't have a safe space in their relationship with the woman to feel like they can fall apart. And not be judged. Because he said, because even now with society and how we were raised as men,
be tough.
It'd be tough. And he said, a lot of guys say now that the women have adapted that same mindset.
True.
So then, therefore,
they're carrying on our jobs. They're doing the things that we do.
So they feel like, so if you break down, you had that vulnerable moment, you break down, you cry, then that woman now looks at you completely
Don't
different.
take it for weakness.
Right. So what's your thoughts?
You take advantage of you?
I say that that's a misguided woman, because it's not, when you say, most people say this. They'll say they want somebody to communicate. They want somebody to be vulnerable. They want somebody to be open. Then the moment that you open up, be a man or woman, open up, then it's like, why are you, don't be soft, be strong, be this, be that, be that. It's just the confusion. It's the spiritual warfare. It's the confusion, because you are in a relationship. It should be free enough to express yourself. So if you're having a bad day, or if you are frightened, or if you feel afraid of something, or if you're not unsure, you're supposed to be able, that's the point of being in a relationship. If I can't come home and tell the people that I'm there with, then why am I there? That's what I feel like. I feel like if I can't cry, and this is for a man too, if you can't cry with your woman, then you probably with the wrong woman. And I don't know. I don't know if that hurt anybody's feelings or not, but I don't care. Because you're supposed to be with the person that has your total interest.
Sure.
So if I have your total interest, then this means that if you have a bad day, if you lost your job, if things didn't quite go right, then you should be able to come home and say, you know what, I'm feeling sad today. This, that, third happened. I heard a song. It reminded me of something, and I just started whatever. Then as a woman, I'm just supposed to just take you, bring you right here. That's why these were created, bring you on in and just say like, okay, there you go. You feeling better now?
Are you feeling better?
That's why, the girls propped up, and you be like, come on, baby. Come on, where you want to lay? You want to lay on mama's lap? You want to get naked? You want to get in the tub? I mean, what you want to do?
What you need?
What you need? You want me to cook you some bacon cake? Rub your feet? Like what you need? What you need?
That female element on it, huh?
That's why touch on it. Okay, I'm talking to my ladies.
Here we go.
Ladies,
let's talk.
Your magic is in mending. Okay? Your magic, that's your superpower. You remember when grandma came and rubbed her hands on you?
Yep.
See, I got grandkids, and they love to get up. Like my little one coming, and she every morning before she coming over, and I gotta stop. I be like telling them, stop. I gotta go over here talk to this baby right here. I gotta pick this baby up. Baby, lay right here. Everybody like to lay right there. The man is no different, right? So ladies, when you blessed to be, people are starving for relationships out here.
Yeah.
And the same people that's got all the issues with it, it's 10 times more that wish they had some issues from a relationship. So if you're blessed enough to be in a relationship, find out how to make it work. Find out what your needs are, what his needs is. Know your love language, because everybody has a different love language.
Exactly.
And if my love language is communication and yours is gift or acts of service, then I need to let you express yourself through what turns you on, and you got to allow me to express myself with what turns me on. And that's where communication, we need to communicate.
And like, if you're in communication, I have to learn how to communicate better so you can receive the love that you need. And then you have to learn how to do acts of service so I can receive the love that you need.
Right. Exactly. And this is why it's so important that you want to see people, and this is the difference between just having sex.
That way, man. I never heard it expressed that way.
Really?
I mean, just how you said it, that was just so succinct.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And it's easy, right? Because if you ever took the test, I recommend everybody take that test.
I do.
Everybody needs to take that test. Know who you are. That's kind of like understanding doing your birth chart. Understand who you are first, because then you can help other people understand who you are.
How can you have somebody teach somebody how to love you? You don't know
if
who
you don't
are,
know
how to love yourself.
Exactly.
And so You know, in my growth, you know, I ask my friends, you know, let's do this. Whether it's my homeboys or somebody I'm dating, my family, let's do this quiz together. So then, therefore, I could know how I need to
approach them, talk to them,
right?
Deal with them.
Because if I just go by based on what my love language,
exactly,
I'm not going to reach you because you might not be able to receive it. I give it, and so, and a lot of people have never even heard of the 5 love languages. Cause we talked about yesterday, and they was like, they had to Google it, and they was like, I said, take the test.
Right.
I said, because that's part of the problem. You probably in a relationship because you want this guy to love you in the way that you need to be loved, but you don't even really know what you need.
And then he can only love you the way that he feel like love is for him.
Exactly.
You know, so if he's a man and he's thinking like you know, because most of the time, and I can say most men are doers. They like want to say, what do you need? What's the problem? And let me fix it.
Right.
You know, most women are nurturers. That's just instinctively what we are because we carry the womb.
True.
You know, so that's our nature. We're naturally nurturers. Now that crosses over because of the conditions that we run against. But if you take time to say, you know what? This is what makes me feel loved. So if you bringing me gifts, and they don't even have to, you know, it could just be a thought, you know, of she likes strawberries. Let me get her some strawberries or something. Just something like out of the normal activity. And you know, the sweetest movie that I've seen, and I like, this is probably not a sweet movie, but Godfather.
Right.
But the one, and I don't know if it's 1 or 2, but I think it's 2 because it goes back to when he was a boy, and he brought home his wife a pear he had got fired from work, and he brought her a pear, and it was wrapped up in a little napkin, and she sat it on the table, and she unfolded it, you know, like they made great movies back then. She unfolded it, and she's like, oh, a pear, you know, like the response is that, because first of all, they didn't get fruit all the time.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know, and for him, it was like what he needed to do is because he wasn't working anymore. So it was like, let me just go home and celebrate, you know. And so when she got that pear, it was like, oh, you know, a pear, you know.
A savvy moment in Godfather.
Yeah.
That's what he's got it from.
You know. That's my favorite movie, though.
Oh, I feel it.
So all the episodes.
All of them?
All of the trilogies or whatever. But, yeah. The inner gangster in me.
Here we go. The inner gangster.
So I got one last question before I give y'all y'all parting thoughts. So, do you think in a debate or an argument between the boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife that either one are listening to understand or they're listening to respond?
Ooh. Ooh.
I'll let you go first.
Ooh. I was just talking about that the other day.
Well, you know what, man? I've done both, of course. I've done both, and I try to listen to understand, and then when certain keys are hit, like on the piano, it triggers a response inside my brain, and I just be like, oh, do I need to say this now? Okay, sometimes I fight it, sometimes I let go and just no lie. Sometimes I do, because I feel like that point has to be addressed, because she's beating it up. She's beating it up. I feel like I just have to respond instead of understanding her point, because like she don't understand. Like so I feel like I have to respond at that point. So, I mean, I don't respond all the time. Maybe sometimes I can't front. I'm not 100% anything, but I will say most of the times I'm focused on listening to understand her point of view, But if I feel like she's confused or she's not telling the truth or, you know, she's not on the right wavelength, that's what I'm thinking. So I feel like I just have to respond in those situations. But I try not to go hard on it. You know, I try to make a point real quick and say what I gotta say. Right. And hopefully she won't blow up on that. But then sometimes it still backfires.
Still backfires.
Yeah.
Well, the thought is, I think we all know the answer. You know, we should listen to understand. Yeah. But of course we're reactive, you know, so sometimes it doesn't go that well. And that's what listening to understand goes across the board with anything. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday and was talking about listening to understand when you're out network marketing and when when you're networking and stuff like that. Most people want to just push down what they're doing and don't hear. See, but when you understand that, again, I refer to it as magic, is understanding what the person is, so then you can empathize with them. You could probably come up with a solution better, because everything does not have to be dealt with right now. Right. You know, so when we could take that pause, and I think in a relationship, you know, it's good to have pretty much what he said, pineapple, you know, like a timeout, like a signal to where be like, you know what, this is going a little bit too sideways. So let us just table this, go back, let's take a bath. You know, like water works, right? Let's change it, because the essence of a relationship is to make sure that relationship is growing. And if we all could just tap into the essence of a relationship is so we can grow, then I start to realize that it's not important for me to win every battle. It's not important for me to be right. Because if me being right means we're not growing, then we need to go to the table and sit down and talk about it.
Exactly.
Damn.
What a great way to end it. So I'm gonna let you go last. I'll give you a chance to give your parting thoughts, how people can find you, and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh man, she just killed me. That was.
I'll send you my bill.
That was sick. I love that, man. Yeah, you can find me on social media. You can find me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram a lot. King Antonio B. Find me on Facebook, Antonio TheSoldierpreneur Boyd. You find me on Twitter, Atlanta Success, @Atlanta Success. Also, I gotta do better with Twitter though, I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, my parting thoughts. I definitely enjoy the conversations. I always do, man.
We gotta have a part 2 for this one.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate Wanda, everything, man. Y'all, this has been so cool. Talk relationships and just talk life in general. We talk about our situations as a people. I think it's paramount to have those conversations and to actually put programs in place that we can help.
Right.
I love to talk about it, and I love to strategize and see how well something can happen. Things weren't nothing's gonna build overnight. There's always steps to everything. So I appreciate this step in the right direction for me.
I appreciate that.
And for this network and for this show.
Ma'am.
Well, ditto. So you can reach me at, of course, Facebook at the official Wanda D. Hollis page, and also I Am Enough talk show page. If you're interested in getting your expanding your business on a great platform, please check me out there. I Am Enough is also, we're on Instagram. And my name, Wanda D. Hollis, is pretty much just out there, period. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can just look me up directly. Right. If you're interested in writing a book or just need some help, some assistance with that, you want to put together a project, I'm always open to help out with that, as well as any other services I do, one-on-one coaching and accountability. That's my niche right there. You say you want to create something, put that plan together, and I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire. I'm not one to play with, so don't call me trying to talk crazy, because I ain't even having it.
Right.
You better expect Wanda to come after you.
Right. And my website is IamEnough365.com. any services or any business, just feel free to, poke around there. You want to get a copy of the book, you can also go to the website, or you can just email me directly. I am enough talkshow@gmail.com.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys were so good. I'm going to have to do a part 2. Part 2.
I'm excited.
I can't wait. And so, when is your show on Status Network?
It's on the 1st and the 3rd Sunday at 7, from 7 to 9. So make sure y'all download that Status Network app. Then go to Manifest TV, scroll down, and press I Am Enough Talk Show.
All right. So this has been Kevinthornton.
So funny.
The Wellness Architect Show. I hope you have enjoyed the show. These 2 great people have brought some great jewels today. Great jewels, great understanding. So I hope you learned something from all of us today. We're going to do a part 2. I got to get their schedule together so we can make this happen. But what I want to say to you is be great, be yourself, be authentic, and be great.
Be great.
We out. Peace.